Alright guys, so we are here, Tulum Jungle Gym here in Mexico. We made it all the way down here. Today I'm going to be running you guys through 4 of my key exercises to build your overall biceps so that you guys can try it out for yourselves. Let's do it. With the incline dumbbell curl, a lot of people think that you need an excessive arch of the bench or angle of the bench in order to get that stretch on your bicep. To be completely honest, most people overstretch their biceps and actually put their shoulders into an internally rotated position. What you really want to focus on here is maintaining that elbow position and keeping that lengthened stretch on your bicep. You'll notice as I work through this set, the speed of my rep decreases, and that's exactly what we're looking for. The most important tip here with any of your bicep movements is to maintain that form even when your rep slows down and even as you approach failure. Before you initiate the set, make sure to retract your shoulder blades and maintain that position throughout the duration of your set. This movement can be substituted for an incline cable curl with your elbows back in a stretched position and an upright torso. Next up, we have the dumbbell preacher curl. In this video, I'm doing a single arm dumbbell preacher curl. This movement can be substituted for any other movement that puts your bicep in a shortened position. Take a normal preacher curl bench, for example. You can use a barbell, you can use an easy bar, or you can use 2 dumbbells at a time. Before you initiate the movement, wedge the pit of your arm as deeply into the bench as possible and maintain that position throughout the entirety of the set. What this is going to allow you to do is stabilize your shoulder joint and only work from the bicep. One common misconception is that you shouldn't work through that bottom range of the motion when it comes to a preacher curl due to dangers or potential injury, but that's actually one of the most effective parts of the rep. We want to make sure that we're working through the entirety of the range of motion to make sure we're getting the most out of each rep. In the case of a preacher curl, if it feels as though at the bottom of the rep you're putting yourself into a compromised position, you may need to lighten the load. One tip that I have for you guys to mitigate the risk of injury and maintain constant tension throughout the range of motion is to flex your tricep as you're going through the eccentric and then focus as much as you can on flexing your bicep through the concentric. So although the preacher curl and the incline curl will both work both parts of your biceps, I thought it'd be important to show a movement that works the full range of motion. Here we have the easy bar curl. This of course can be substituted for any sort of upright torso curl movement that flexes the elbow, like a dumbbell curl, a barbell curl, or any other sort of cable curl with an upright torso. One key point that a lot of people fail to focus on is maintaining that upright torso position and not letting your shoulders fall back. Of course, with myself, I'm guilty of this as well. The typical cheat curl may increase your risk of injury. However, I wouldn't completely shy away from any sort of cheating movement because you're still getting a significant amount of stimulus when you're cheating it up. Oftentimes when beginners are starting to work out, it's difficult for them to assess where true failure actually is. For this reason, I do get them to cheat a little bit on the final reps of their set and allow a little bit of that form breakdown to allow progressive overload week over week. Of course, this doesn't mean put yourself at risk of injury, but it does mean that there needs to be a little bit of give and a little bit of use of other surrounding muscle groups in order to progress your training. With the increase in form junkies and science-based training over TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all these different platforms, I think a lot of people sacrifice true hard training just to make sure that their form is 100%. Now, form should always be number one, but you have to make sure that you're working within 3 reps of failure in order to actually stimulate any sort of muscular hypertrophy. So that brings me to the final movement and probably my favorite movement, the dumbbell hammer curl. This can be performed with a rope and a cable. This can also be performed unilaterally or bilaterally. In these videos, you'll see that I'm performing it bilaterally. There are very similar cues with the dumbbell hammer curl as there are with any sort of other elbow flexion movement. You want to make sure that the upper portion of your arm is not significantly shifting from its center axis as you go throughout the set. Because this movement is going to be working the brachialis primarily, I want to make sure that my elbow is not moving upward. Any significant movement of the upper arm as well as supination will increase the activation in our bicep and decrease the activation in our brachialis. So we want to make sure we're maintaining one single position. This movement can also be performed cross-body as long as your elbow is maintaining one singular position. Because there's already use of other muscle groups such as your bicep, your brachialis, your short head, your long head, all of these are going to be active throughout the movement. This is an exercise I like to put at the end of my workout to burn out. I'll oftentimes perform drop sets or even run the rack upwards just to force myself to true failure. So although we ran through 4 different bicep exercise variations, there really is no way that you can go wrong as long as you're performing some sort of elbow flexion. The main thing that I want you to prioritize when you're getting through these sets is maintaining a particular elbow position and making sure that you're very intentional about your rep speed. As you progress through the set, the reps should be slowing down as you approach failure. As long as you maintain the same technique as the beginning of your set and each rep looks the same, you'll know that you're reaching true muscular failure, naturally stimulating hypertrophy. So that brings us to the end of the video. One of many videos we're going to be shooting here in Tulum. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section down below any videos you'd like to see. Let me know what muscle groups you'd like to see next, and let me know if this video helped you out. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.